today I've got a question, and it's actually, what is the most important question that leadership teams should be asking? We're living in an incredibly fast-moving world. Some are saying it's a world of exponential change where we're getting these mega shifts across industries because technology is allowing new markets, new products and services to be opened up in years, and sometimes in some industries as little as months. And obviously you can look at this in one of two ways. Either it's a threat or it's an opportunity. But regardless, as a leadership team, you've got to ask the right questions to identify the strategy that you want to go and run with. And the number one question, which I think every leader should be asking, is this one: why did we fail? And I don't just mean why did we fail today or tomorrow. I want you to go and use this as an imaginary retrospective and go and look forward to the year 2025 and say, what was it that led to us failing? We're sitting there in 2025, it's gone wrong, we've lost significant market share, I've lost my job, maybe we've even gone bankrupt. What were the prescient points that led to that failure? It's such a powerful question. But the second part to it is how to ask the question. And I think there is an approach which will give you better results which you can act on. The first thing is I really recommend you have a think about doing it digitally. I'm just going to call that up now. I'm going to put a link on this, by the way, where you can go and see this board in Mural. It's a fantastic platform, great value. I'm not commissioned to go and say it. There are other platforms. Miro is another one. I just happen to like this particular one, and we get good results with these leadership discussions. So think about doing it digitally. And I think the reason it works is not only is the text super simple to use, but it's anonymous. And anonymity is incredibly important, because if you want to go and get those big challenging questions out there, make sure no elephants in the room are left unattended to, having a bit of anonymity and self-reflection to kickstart the process brings powerful results. The second thing that I want to suggest is that you lead into it with a bit of futurism. Now, whether you do that yourself, where you paint this draconian picture about what the world might be like in 2025, or you call someone like myself or a futurist or an expert in that particular field, it's really, really powerful to go and lay a backdrop for people to think about it. 2025 for financial services is going to be radically different because of X, whatever you want to put in there, artificial intelligence or changing consumer behavior. 2025 in the energy sector, especially if you're in the fossil fuel side, is going to be radically different because of X. X might be photovoltaic, might be wind, it might be changes in how people are moving off-grid and self-solving for their energy solutions. Whatever your industry, start by trying to go and paint this picture that the world is moving at an exponential rate. And it's important to do that so that your colleagues are released from thinking about the day-to-day issues that they face, the operational issues, and they can think at a much more macro type of level. They can really zoom out, and then once you've gone through the process, you can zoom back in and start laying down the groundwork of what you want to start on today over the next 6 months. So the first question after that is going to be 2025, why did we fail? People come into the platform using Mural, they can put their anonymous stickies up like I'm demonstrating here. And if you've got 10 people, expect 100 stickies, 15 people, maybe it's going to be 120. Once you've got that nice kind of mosaic that's out there, it's just random noise at the moment because they're just talking about, I don't know, we don't have the right skills in this particular place, we're not hiring so fast, our distribution network is wrong, our marketing isn't working. You can go and start to theme it. And the theme it side of things, really you're just going to design on the fly. There's no set number of themes, but what I would suggest is you're looking to try to bring those 100, 150 stickies down to perhaps 7 to 10, maybe 10 to 50. Because you don't want to just have culture as a theme, that's too broad, I've got it there, but once you have another 10 or 15 stickies that have gone into it, you might want to go and decompose it further. What do you mean by culture? Is it we don't have an innovation culture? Is it we're not collaborating? Is it that we're not working with our partners in the right way? You'll start to be able to break that down a wee bit further. Once you're happy and you've got your 10 to 15 themes, just because there's a lot of vocabulary being spoken about it and there's a lot of nodding of heads and supporting on it, don't jump to the default that those are the big themes. That would be the wrong thing to do. Sometimes we talk about the things that are easiest to talk about, they won't be your critical path issues. I'd always recommend therefore you try to go and rank them, and there's lots of ways that you can do that. You could rank it 1 to 10 and see where people are agreeing and disagreeing, but I find linear scales don't bring good results. If you've ever worked with Lean or Agile or in a Scrum type environment, you're probably used to the Fibonacci scale, where it's amazing how you can see the diversification of views and differentiating in importance just because you're going up at a, not quite doubling, but a compounding sort of rate. So if it's a 1, it's not massively important, let's leave it. If it's a 34, this is a big issue. Where does it sit if it's a 3 or 5? Well, there's not a huge differentiation, so whether it's a 3 or 5, I can leave that clumped together, it's fairly irrelevant to me. Once you've started to go and move your legacy technology stack, which gets broken down specifically so that you're not using microservices and you're not actually utilizing the benefits of certain aspects of AI, you start to get a couple of people highlighting that as a big risk issue and they're giving it a big 34. The ones where there's consistency, you can vote on this as well, or you could set columns up against that to see if you've got consistency. They should become apparent quite soon. Park them. They're definitely the ones that you want to take away in your next discussion to go and review and to think about what practically you can do today to start solving for it. Where you've got divergence, because some people, let's use an example, think person A thinks that the company is far too focused on profit and short-term dividend. Person B thinks you should be a lot more altruistic and go for a purposeful strategy, but someone's voting that at a 1 or a 5 and someone else is at a 34. That's where you've got to have discussion. That's where you've got to go and really dig into it. Maybe you've got to do some analysis and some deep dive and some further discussions, because you've got to go and resolve that. Once you've done that, you've got your kind of definites that are significant, you've got those items which you had differentiation and you've now resolved, then obviously you can go into the next step to start designing around that. What ideas can you create so that you can start to go and prepare yourself for those issues? Usually there's going to be some big decisions. We need to be disposing of X, we've got to be closing down this business, we've got to be investing in X, Y, Z, and there'll also be some interesting ones. Let's develop new products and services and start running our experimentation models to go and think about an exponential growth strategy. Start small, dream big, start small, and start running experimentation to develop and hedge the risks that we're facing. So that's it in a nutshell. 8 minutes, just a quick download of how I would run that session. Why did we fail? The benefits that can get out of it, and a platform like Mural which can really help you to move forward on it. And as I said, get external facilitators to try to go and level the playing field, get rid of the politics, allow the conversation to move. Use platforms where you can be anonymous and self-thoughtful to go and start with, but then you get into the group discussions and then into the ratings before you take those actions away. So I hope that's helpful. If you want any more information on this, just drop me a note. You can go to my website, email me at colin@colinisles.com. And of course, I've put the Mural link in there. If you've never played around with one of these online sticky platforms, you're welcome to go and put whatever you want into it, just to get a feel for it. I don't think it's going to solve for you why did we fail, but it might be interesting if a few of you do it to see what sort of answers we get from people from different industries.